Hello, and welcome to the weekly moon update. My name is Allison, the self proclaimed priestess of Wonderland. And in these videos, we talk about the moon energy for the current week. In this week's case, we're talking about October 7th through the 13th. If you're not watching this as it premieres on Sunday, there are always timestamps in the description box below so that you can jump around to whatever part of the week that you're at, or if you're just interested in the oracle messages at the end, that timestamp is also available. So this week we have a first quarter week. This means our energy and light is increasing. The moon is making its way towards being half full, and we're kind of recuperating from the new moon solar eclipse that we had last week and leading up to our first full moon that is not an eclipse. So we've left eclipse season. We're kind of letting everything settle and balance out, which is perfect for Libra season. We're in Libra sun season at this time. This week has this energy of just kind of like letting things settle, letting the dust settle, letting your scales balance out, and getting ready for the full moon next week. So let's jump into the moon energy for this week. So our first quarter moon is taking place on Thursday. We've got a first quarter Capricorn moon happening then. So that means the beginning of the week is a waxing crescent moon. And then after Thursday, this weekend is a waxing gibbous moon, leading us up to the full moon next week. A waxing moon is continuing to increase. You can see the moon is kind of dark because we're a little bit close to the new moon on Monday, and it's just going to slowly increase until it's half full, and then it will start continue to increase past that half full mark, and that is our gibbous moon. Gibbous is more than half full. So we are starting off this Monday with Sagittarius. I love starting a week off with fire energy. I just feel like it helps get you activated and motivated and ready for the week. Sagittarius is the archer, the centaur. It's like finding that direction, finding the thing that like inspires you and heading towards it and moving towards it. So it's just lovely energy. We have a lot of lovely Sagittarius people in our community here. For those of you who don't have a Sagittarius big three, you probably have prominent Sagittarius in your chart because Sagittarius is just interested in the quest and the search and the adventure and interested in exploring, which oftentimes attract people that are interested in following the moon and interested in astrology, interested in finding the meaning of life, of getting to know yourself better. So we've got a lot of Sagittarius energy in this community alone. And even if you don't feel like it, I think you probably do, because the Sagittarius is just fun and interested in learning and growing and exploring. So really wonderful energy. Will be in Sagittarius energy all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and then we'll transition early in the morning, right after midnight, and heading into Capricorn around 5:39 a.m. So with all of that fun and excitement that Sagittarius brings, Capricorn is like, okay, but there are these other things that need to be taken care of. It's an earth sign. It brings us back down to the ground. If you are floating kind of high up in that fire energy, Sagittarius like anchors you. It pulls you down, gets your feet grounded in the earth, and helps you pay attention, helps you get that mental clarity that grounding can give you. helps you pay attention. Okay, yeah, we want to have all these wonderful, fun things, but we also have to be practical at the same time. So that's our first quarter moon energy, the Capricorn energy. And they like Capricorn is still interested in that goal and that direction, but they want to achieve it. So their Capricorn is going to take the steps that need to be taken to get there. Sagittarius might stop and have a drink along the way, stop at the tavern and have a drink along the way. Capricorn is like, no, we need to like get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get to the end of winter because Capricorn season is right on the summer's or the winter solstice. So we will be in Capricorn energy all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, and Friday afternoon is when we'll start to transition right after lunch, around lunchtime into Aquarius. So Aquarius season is right after the new year. It's after Capricorn season at the end of January and beginning of February. So Aquarius kind of is like, okay, we've started this new year. We've started this new thing. We're approaching things differently. Like how Aquarius helps Capricorn figure out how to make things work, how to do things in a new way. It's a new year, it's a new way of life. You know, we set resolutions and we set intentions at the new year, and Aquarius helps us to kind of like figure out how do we do these new things? How do we integrate these new things into our life? And they like the new things. So Friday has kind of like that doing weird things kind of energy. We'll be in Aquarius energy all day Friday, all day Saturday, and for most of Sunday as well. We won't move into Pisces until kind of late afternoon Sunday. And we probably have a lot of Aquarius energy in this community as well. I have an Aquarius moon. We're just the weirdos, and you know, weirdos are very welcome in Wonderland. Aquarius is weird because they're doing things differently than the norm. And the thing about Aquarius energy, though, is like by the end of the year, you're doing that thing that was new and weird and different that you started at the beginning of the year. And it's like normal to you now. So Aquarius is just the way showers. They're like the people that are making the path. They're not the people that are walking the path that's already been walked. They're the people that are paving that path, like digging, like clearing the land, digging that path so that other people can follow. And it's lonely because you are the only one that's interested in that. But by the end of the year, after we shift and change and grow, it becomes normal again. So Aquarius starts out being the weirdo, but it's the weirdness and the newness that we need to make change and to pave new ways of being. Again, Friday, Saturday, almost all of Sunday. We'll move into Pisces late afternoon. So that's kind of like dreamy kind of energy. We had our Pisces lunar eclipse last month. So this might kind of whenever we move into a sign again, I feel like it helps us to like integrate or find clarity with the things that came up the last time the moon was in that sign. So something that may have come up around the Pisces full moon last month, you might be able to start finding clarity here. We'll be starting off Monday next week with Pisces energy because that is leading us into the Aries full moon that we're having next week. So last week we had the end of summer vibes happening throughout the week. This week we have the like fall to winter transitioning to a new year kind of energy. And I think that like this time of year, Libra season is when we start to kind of reflect on this year and like thinking about how do you want to finish up the rest of this year? How do you and just kind of like reflecting and figuring out what needs to go, what leaves need to fall off, what you need to shed and release during the fall season to get ready to start thinking about next year. Like we're at the end of the year, starting to think about like what do you want to do next year? Where do you want to go next year? Who do you want to be next year? So because we have those fall vibes happening this week, I chose the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle that was gifted by our wonderful community member Amber. This arrived like right on the Mabon day. So this is a very magical deck for our community here. And because we had these fall vibes this week, I thought that this was the perfect deck to use. So we have cranberries. Devour the truth and let it sink into the depths of all that came before and all that will come after. The keywords for this card are ancestral root connections, power, claiming, or reclaiming. So your higher self chose this card because your ancestors are waiting for you. The red color of cranberries instantly brings to mind the blood connection of ancestral healing. And it is through your ancestors that intuitive wisdom is passed down. They wait patiently for you to connect with them so that they can offer the wisdom, strength, and power that is available to you right via the blood within your veins. You don't need a connection with your living relatives to establish a bond with your ancestors. They are available to you even if you don't know their names, faces, or the details of your family tree. You will recognize through a feeling of comfort and familiarity, offer up your troubles, and ask for your ancestors' support. They will clear away blocks, push away the dark clouds looming over your life, and open the floodgates of abundance. To establish this bond with your ancestors, simply close your eyes and offer up your prayers. Ask that only benevolent, loving ancestors seek you out, then speak with them as you would any other guide, the universe, God, or godlike figure. So this is kind of perfect energy to like be heading into the fall season, like I was saying before. And as we're making our way from Mabon to Samhain, when the veil is the thinnest and we can kind of see through to the other side a little bit more clearer, hear through to the other side, or however your psychic gifts work, feel through to the other side. I think it's important to point out that like you don't have to wait until Samhain or Halloween to connect to your ancestors. You can connect to them all year long, especially like we're just getting close. Like the veil is currently thinning every single day. So the veil today or this week is thinner than it was last month or the month before. So like you don't have to wait until these certain days, like whenever you're feeling called to or wherever you're feeling guided to connect is the time to connect. And we have a beautiful heart chakra card for us today, wholeness. You have within you the power to heal all that is in need of your love, including yourself. Open up to the vastness of your heart and allow its purifying presence to wash over you in waves of self-acceptance and graceful allowing. From this space of whole soul fulfillment and nourishment, you will be able to give and receive abundantly. You are the forests and the oceans, the earth and the sky. Honoring your wholeness is your path to wellness. Again, this is a heart chakra card. The crystal they recommend is manganese calcite, and the herb is hawthorn berries. I love hawthorn berries for heart healing. So our crystal for this week is Amazonite, and we had this crystal a couple weeks ago as well. So I feel like when the same messages come up over and over again, it's like we didn't hear it the first time, or we're just like we're not done working with this energy yet. And so Amazonite is a throat chakra stone that encourages speaking your truth with confidence. It heals unhealthy communication patterns and assists you in having difficult conversations with ease. Working with this gem inspires heartfelt sharing. The affirmation is, I express my truth freely. I communicate with ease and confidence. I also feel like just based on the cards that we got this week that like using Amazonite to help you communicate with your ancestors or communicate with the other side would be beneficial as well. Not just like throat chakra communication doesn't have to be like external verbal conversation between two people, although it certainly can. But I think maybe because we're getting this message again that this is a crystal that can help us to communicate with the other side. Or it might be like I often struggle with like my main psychic gifts are clairsentience and claircognizance. And so a lot of times it's like with claircognizance, like you question the information that you're coming through because there's no like validation for it. There's no like, I saw this thing, I heard this thing, this is the message. With claircognizance, it's just like you just know, and it's just hard to get that clarity. especially if you're like second guessing yourself. And with clairsentience, it's like, well, it's important if you're clairsentient to always check in like before you're trying to do any connection to the other side or any healing work or any spiritual work, especially facilitating for somebody else. You have to check in with how am I feeling in right in this moment before actually doing the work, so that you're able to differentiate with how you're feeling before and how you're feeling during the session. So you're like, okay, the things I'm feeling right now are not mine, they're somebody else's. So that is a message. And it's kind of difficult to differentiate those things. So it seems like Amazonite would be helpful if you are having trouble deciphering or finding clarity with messages that you get in meditation or actual communication with spirit. So it does feel like this week is a very reflective week, and kind of maybe examining the things that came up for you during the solar eclipse, remembering that like all of the different pieces that we recover on new and full moons or any time. I mean, we don't have to only do spiritual work on specific moon cycles. I think our energy is constantly shifting all the time, and we're constantly receiving messages. We're constantly like integrating different parts of ourselves, and I think it's a great reminder to recognize that like there are pieces of yourself that are not your own, but they are yours to have, like this card talking about connecting to your ancestors. They are a part of you. And like this card says here, we're also part of the sky and the earth and the oceans, and we are all so interconnected. And I think it's just important to remember those things. We're not just these stupid, mundane lives that we are going to work and eating, sleeping, working, repeat, or whatever. We're so much more than that. There's so many different pieces of ourselves that we have access to and can tap into. And fall is the time to be like really integrating those things, letting go of the things that aren't serving us anymore, and making room for the wholeness, making room for the making room for the truth of who you really are. So I hope that you have a wonderful week this week. I hope you're able to integrate the things that came up for you last week, and I hope that you're ready for this big bright Aries full moon. Another thing that you might want to start thinking about this week is looking back on the Aries new moon in the spring. Remember, we had a solar eclipse in Aries in the spring. So maybe looking back and integrating some of those things, some of those intentions, some of those things that came up for you during the solar eclipse, that might be something to look at and integrate during this week too. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you all so much, and I really do feel the interconnectedness of this community, and how I just love seeing how we are all here to support one another. You all have supported me in so many ways, more ways than I could even count or tell you. It means so much to me. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by Wonderland today. I can't wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon.